Speedway. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Sunday afternoon. I'm your host, Cody Demers, alongside my co-host, Christian. We're going to bring you all the action here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. 150 laps is the distance. How are you doing today, Christian?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited for this racing here at Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, notorious for putting on great racing here with these late model stock cars. So excited to see what these drivers can do here.
Yeah, looking back, Daniel Williamson, give you a little info about it. Passed away a few years back. Lost his battle with COVID when the COVID scene was in. We send our thoughts and prayers to his family as they, still to this day, recover with that loss, unexpected loss, left behind kids, a wife, a family, friends, a lot of stuff. I don't think he had the chance to race in real life, but I know virtually he was a really good iracer. I didn't know him personally. I know him from the sim a couple times, but I didn't really know him like a lot of these guys did. And, to me, it's cool what these guys are doing here today. Wouldn't you say, Christian?
Yeah, it's always really cool when you honor an old friend and take advantage of looking back at the past times that you had with that friend. Having a fun race. It's always fun to, especially a lot of these come back to find past connections that you might have had with another person through that same person. Having a little memorial race for him is like a great way to show everybody that how important everybody involved.
Oh yeah, him and as far as I know, him and Kyle were really good buddies. Definitely, tough for Kyle, I know, and all these guys to come in here and watch it and do the things they do. Shout out to Pay to Win. We forgot to get a logo for Pay to Win. Pay to Win put up the sponsor money. Give you a little run race down of what's happening tonight. $200 a win, Christian. For sim racing, this is big money, man. You don't find you don't go to a virtual racetrack and find a lot of money. $200 a win, second's getting 125, third place 75, fourth place 50, fifth place 25. That's what the top five gets paid off. Not including they got a $25 hard charger, a $25 pole award, a $25 halfway leader, and a $20 tough break. And you know what's crazy with the tough break, Christian? We, as the broadcasters, get to pick who we want the tough break to go to.
That's something that's going to be really, really fun for us to decide, right? Us in the broadcast booth and then decide who tough break goes to. So, some reason goes, someone just getting caught up in a lot of wrecks, but I guess we'll have to wait and get there. So, excited.
Oh yeah. Halfway break, lap 75. These guys get a set of tires, but the key question is they have to take that one set of tires before the halfway break. They can't take it after that. So that's going to put a lot of strategy play in here if we get a long green flag run as well. One fast repair, and a turn of events, a twist, a loophole thrown in everything. You got, after qualifying, the race control is going to take a wheel, put everybody's name on the wheel, spin it, and it's going to have 0 to 6. And if it hits 0, nobody inverts. If it turns to 6, the pole sitter, he gets to start 6 in the first place. The person that starts 6 gets to start first. So, that's going to make everything all interesting here tonight at Myrtle Beach. I'm excited. I really am excited. We're gonna get down here on track. Show you the cars on track. The qualifying ticker will be on the side of your screen. You'll be able to see the lap times, where people sitting in standings, and everything like that. See who's all racing. Looks like we got 12 racers here in the sim. It's definitely going to be a very, very, very interesting race to say the least. I'm excited. I hope every one of you is tuning in. Big shout out to Daniel's wife and Daniel's kids that are watching. I appreciate you guys watching. We're going to try to put on the best show you guys have ever seen, and we're going to do our best to bring you all the action right here, me and Christian on Elevated TV. Wouldn't you say, Christian?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited in it now. I think this deal aspect of things. I love when especially when you're racing for money, you're racing for fun, especially when you're racing to celebrate the life of a friend, right? To have like real and potentially spice up the whole race, potentially put like the fastest driver, the fastest couple drivers in a spot to have to drive through the field, which can just cause, to have really great, clean, hard racing. Of course, with Myrtle Beach and these mile stocks, you're gonna bump and you're gonna fenders getting rubbed, so it's gonna be really exciting to see.
As looks like qualifying has started here. Christian, as a racer, I'm looking at it from the broadcaster perspective. Um, when you go into a race like this, 150 laps, a lot of these guys are looking at, what are they, I mean to say it like this: when you have an invert, whether it's 0 to 6 or 0 to 10, how do you progress your mind to go into a race knowing there's an invert and not knowing what the invert is?
Yeah, I think these drivers do have one faster pair, so that's something that they can keep in the back of their mind, that they can maybe, if they need to, spots maybe a little bit more aggressive than. But with an invert, I wouldn't even worry about until the invert happens. Really pushing the car too hard, just because well, if I'm in the lead right now, I'm probably going to be in a compromised spot, potentially, and put myself in a bad spot. So you might see guys maybe doing a strategy call and laying back until the invert happens to get the track position for this race.
Oh yeah, and people think, there's only 12 drivers. But in a track like Myrtle Beach is a tire eating track. Whether it had been in real life, it been on the sim, Myrtle Beach is a track you have to be patient on your tires. If you go out there the first 50 laps and you burn your set of tires up, you're going to be screwed. You're going to go from first to probably dead last. So it's a big deal to people that don't know how to save tires. So, that's something you got to look into when you go into a race like this. What do you say, Christian?
Yeah, definitely tire saving is going to be here, but also a big thing here at Myrtle Beach is just with how the tires where it works, it's hard to pass in general. Kind of maybe as you see in all these qualifying sessions, see almost all the drivers just kind of running that same bottom line. Probably that's just because it's the fastest way around the track, and when you're gonna battle someone, you're gonna have to try to maybe go on the outside. If someone slips up, you might be able to get you. But just battling in general, wear your stuff out so easily. Drivers here have to be careful of picking their poison. You want to, try to push to maybe get some spots and wear out your stuff, or do you want to lay back, wait on people, and methodically work your way through?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. As we see qualifying wrapping up here, Dylan Connor sits top of the board with a 18.752. Blake Thornburg, a good contender here, sits here in the second position with an 18.87. Not too far off there. Gary Ledbetter in third with an 18.817. You see on your screen. Somebody that I would kind of say I was root for would be Ross Dalton. He's kind of back there in sixth, Christian. 18.832, is he trying to play the invert, knowing, like I said, I don't know if these drivers know that there is an invert. So I can't really say that. And you'll see Kyle Klingenpiel. I'm not sure if he's racing, but I believe he is race control. So I believe we only have 11 drivers here tonight. As we see James Curl there on track on your screen, taking time. But, I'm going to go with Ross Dalton to win this race, man. Christian, who's going to be your pick?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because, like I said, with that invert, that can whole aspect. Dylan qualifies on the pole, let's say he runs up front the whole race, gets put back 10th place. That's hard to. So I'm just throw a Hail Mary out there. Gary Ledbecker, qualified P3, I mean P4. I think he's in a good spot. If he can, obviously he did good in quali, which means I think he can pace, but he's also in a spot to where if he makes a couple mistakes, he spot to capitalize on this effort. So I'm gonna shoot for that number 32 car of Gary. Win.
Alrighty, and there you have it. Our picks to win. You'll see us come back here on the screen here momentarily as qualifying has come back there to an end. Man, I'm excited. Myrtle Beach is, personally on the sim, it's not one of my favorite tracks. In real life, I love it. I would have to say, it's a driver's track. You don't see very many people that can drive the racetrack. You don't see very many people that are too good at the track. You don't see too many people that like the racetrack, more to say. So it's definitely going to be interesting to say the least. I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready to see cars on track. I'm ready to see 150 laps. I'm ready to see who's going to be strategic, who's going to be wanting to go as we're gonna try to get Kyle in and see what the invert is. I'm not sure what the invert is. They haven't told us that yet. But Christian, what do you say? I mean, it's gonna be a very good race.
It has to be, especially with the late model stocks. You can really race each other really hard in these things. Not worried about checking each other out like sometimes saying it like in the trucks where that code can really affect you, and things I feel like you can really rub and race really hard and not worry about wrecking the whole field, but how it is for cars to take hits and with our track combo have a potential to put on a really, really good race.
And as we see your field come back on the screen here, we have got word that the invert is 2. So Blake Thronberg and Dylan Connor are going to potentially just switch swap. The front row just going to swap places. So Blake Thronberg will actually be starting on the pole. Dylan Connor will be starting second. So, and that's the risk you take with the invert. You might try to play the invert and thinking it's 6 and then boom, it be a 2. I mean, you might play the invert and try to get it as a 0 and, it not be that. But we're going to take a look here at your starting lineup. Row number 1 is going to be Blake Thronberg and Dylan Connor. As we said a while ago, they're switch swapping places. Row 2 is going to be James Curl to your inside, Gary Ledbetter to your outside. Row 3 is going to be Michael Folds and Daniel Folds. Battle of the Folds on row number 3 there, Christian.
Yeah, starting in row 4 is going to be Ross Dalton and Presley McKee. Row 5 is going to be Michael Harden and Adam Morgan. Rounding out the field is going to be Seth Cameron and Kyle Ringenpeel, as we believe that's the race control. But
yep, so Kyle Klingenpil, you're going to see him up on your screen, but he is the race control. He's the guy that is going to be controlling the race. He is the guy, the promoter of the race. A really good dude, amazing person. I give him 100% props for doing this. To me, this is the coolest thing we've ever seen. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready to go racing, Christian. As the field comes down the backstretch into turn number 3, Blake Thronberg and Dylan Connor are going to lead them to the green. Off at turn number 3 and 4, Barney the iRacing flagman is going to have the green flag in the air. And we are underway here for the Daniel Williamson Memorial 150 here at Myrtle Beach. As they work off of turn number 2, Blake Thronberg right there, but here comes James Crow looking to the inside. And that number 51 machine, keep your eyes on him in that red car. Looking off of turn number 4 as they come around. Blake Throberg's going to cleat lap number 1, Christian.
Yeah, Blake had a really good jump on that start, and you already see these drivers trying to migrate to the bottom there. I think right now, just trying to get a feel for how these drivers are going to take this race. Try to get a feel for how this car is going to drive with these full tires.
Oh yeah. As we see back here a little bit further back, Ross Dalton. That number 50, making a pass on the 09 of Michael Foles. That's for the 5th position. Ross not playing any games, man, as he's, started 7th, pushing his way already up in the top 5. As looks like the field's kind of single-filed right now. Nobody's kind of pressuring. It looks like your top 3 are about the closest battle right now, but the entire field, Christian, you can throw a blanket over them.
Yeah, definitely. I think the drivers kind of, psych out each other, right? Like, hey, we still have that. We have a long race. As we have a battle for the lead here, we have a long race, so they're trying to psych each other out, see who's going to be aggressive now, who's going to be aggressive later.
Oh, yes, we got a battle down the backstretch. The 51 of James Curl to the inside, the 22 of Blake Throberg. Blake Throberg in that number 22 blue TL Team Zeems machine on the outside. James Curl still right there, still side by side. Christian sitting here watching these guys, James trying to get out front, could he be trying to get out front early to try to be able to save a lot, easier and know he's out front, know nobody's going to pressure him? Or, will we see him, get out front? And, even Blake, we can see him try to come back around him. As we got a spin and turn number 2, that's Ross Dalton. Ross Dalton in the number 50 machine, him and Michael Folds. I believe that's Michael Folds in the 09. Yes, that is. We're going to take a quick look here, get you a replay on your screen. See what happened here. It looks like Ross went in there, and Michael just not sure what happened there. Looks like Michael just kind of got in the back end of the 50 machine.
Well, it looks like the 50 got into the back of the 32. Caused a little bit of a checkup. Not really anywhere that 09 can go. Yeah, the 50 just gets into the left rear quarter panel right there. The 32 tries to check up to get off of him. 09 gets in the back of the 50. Accordion effect right there. That's what happens, especially with these short tracks. When you get a stack up like that, it's so hard for that driver in the 3rd and 4th place in that checkup to react in time to react accordingly to correct, and that's what you see right there. Back up and then drivers getting so.
Oh yeah, and it looks like Ross Dalton and Michael Folds are both going to get EOL's penalties there into the longest line and kind of regroup, and Christian, not what they want to see here early on. Only 142 laps, 9 laps complete of 150, 10 laps complete now. Remember, caution laps do count. So when they're pacing like this, they're getting caution laps. So that that's something they got to keep in mind too. Do they want to run a lot of caution laps, or do they want a lot of green flag laps? So that's a big worry too. We got to kind of figure out there. So to me, I feel like as a driver, Christian, and even yourself as a driver, if I'm in the driver's seat, it's going to be one of them things that getting a rhythm. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason. We're 10 laps into the race. There's no reason to push. There's no reason to be driving erratically. Get a rhythm. Get your belts under, get some, laps under your belts. And then, last 30, 25 laps, I would say push.
I definitely, I think James front runners are actually want to see this caution. It allows them to not have to push as hard. But we're getting ready to go green here.
Oh yeah, as James Curl, Blake Throberg going to lead them into 3 and 4. To me, the biggest thing with Myrtle Beach I don't like is the restart zone. The restart zone to me is so late as we got our back underway here. James Curl's going to blink a little bit there. As good jump here for him and Blake Throberg as we look back here with Gary Ledbetter. Gary Ledbetter stuck on the outside. Here comes that 09. That is the number, is that 09? Let's see who that is. Daniel Foles. It's showing up on time and score in your 12 machine, but he's the 09 machine, that blue machine on the inside of Gary Ledbetter there in the 32. As he looks to the inside, here comes Preston McGee. Preston McGee and that number 87 Mike Looney machine down the backstretch, side by side with Ledbetter in the 3.
Ledbetter's in a really compromised spot. That outside is not where you want to be. You see, that's a door that you're opening and get doored like he just did there, and just that line just burns up the right rear. You have to, be in the gas a lot more early to see the 32 get clear, but he was in a really hairy spot right there for a little bit.
Oh yeah. And as we go back up here to the front, Dylan O'Connor, your pole setter, or I should say the guy that got the pole, that won the $25 pole award. Remember, he's already got $25 on his belt. If you're just tuning in, these guys I've got a lot on the line. $200 to win, 125 for second, 75 for third, 50 for fourth, 25 for fifth. $25 hard charger, $25 pole award, $25 halfway leader. Lap 75 is going to be halfway. Whoever's leading at lap 75 is going to be get $25. Whoever is the hard chargers, and if you don't understand what the hard charger is, hard charger pretty much means if Ross starts 11th and he wins the race, he's going to be the hard charger. So and we'll let Christian kind of explain to you what the tough break award means.
A tough break is, for instance, if our pole setter right here is kind of wrecked out gets dumped out of the race, something like that, maybe, goes back and falls back into the 10th, has damage, cannot come back up. Obviously, we know that 91 is fast, qualified on the pole, so let's say, someone gets a tough, obviously, as it's called a tough break, the driver's going to be handing some cash tonight. Just, we're unfortunately just having a bad race, so, but us broadcasters in the booth are going to get to decide that, but and now it seems like everybody's having a great race, so it's going to be hard to pick. Wow.
Oh yeah. My big thing, man, is you see, as you see on the screen here, a lot of these guys are riding. They get one set of tires, one fast repair. Ross back there in the back, he's already had to use his fast repair. Not sure if he took tires there. So at this point in time, he's just kind of riding. It gets to a point where as he comes across the turtles there, it gets to a point where you got to decide when to go and when not to go. You got to decide, when's my time? Like, do I push it lap 129 or do I push it lap 10? You got to decide what lap you want to push. Because if you push too soon, you're take the risk of burning your tires up. Yes, you get a set of tires at lap 75, and you have to use them before lap 75, but you still don't want to burn your stuff up too early. Then you fall way back, then you get your new tires, and then you have to fight to get back to the front, then you take a risk of burning your tires up again. So, a lot of things going through these drivers' mind. We've actually got some new equipment here. We're going to go on board with James Curl in car, and guess what? We've got a driver cam for you guys. You will be able to see James Curl why he's leading this race. As you see on your screen there he is. The man out front, James Curl. James Curl out front leading the race. Just, look how smooth and calm he is in the race car, Christian. Not a care in the world, out front, just riding. He looks comfortable, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he does, and obviously he has almost a half a second lead right here. So, and I think ultimately these drivers are basing their pace off of him, right? Obviously he's lights out right now, with pulling out to a little bit of a gap, but you gotta think that those drivers are trying to save compared to his pace, not compared to maybe what they want to do. So, right now James is calm and collected. Looks like the guy to beat, unless these drivers decide to pick up the pace a little bit.
Oh yeah. As we look back here on board with Blake Thornburg just kind of riding. Him and Foles kind of looks like Foles got around the 91. The man out front that's got the pole, Christian, he's falling backwards. He's kind of just, riding back as we get Mr. James off the screen there for you guys. It looks falling back. I'm not sure if that's a strategy move. Not sure if he's kind of just, playing games with these guys to say, or if he's trying to save his tires to have a hard push there before halfway. What would you mindset think here as a driver, Christian?
Yeah, I mean, there could be a lot of strategies at play right here. I mean, looks like he's kind of just running where he was, like the '09 or the of Daniel put his nose in there, and he kind of just let him have it a couple laps ago, which is why he's sitting in P4 right now. So obviously not right on the back bumper of that '09 car either. So I think right now he ultimately trying to save tires, I would think. Like I said, he wasn't really up there battling for the lead when James kind of got up there, Blake got up there. They kind of let them race it out. So I think probably trying to save tires. You don't see him really yawn the car out, getting it up onto the wall. He's kind of letting it roll on exit. I think he's trying to save the car right now. Maybe make a run towards the halfway point.
32 laps down, 119 laps to go here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Not too much has changed over the distance. We had one caution so far. Ross Dalton and I believe Michael Folds got into it there in turn number 2. Just a little incident, nothing too big, nothing too bad. Everybody kind of regrouped. And Christian, we've been green flag ever since that last caution. We had that caution with about 140, I think 41 to go, and we're at lap 117. I'm sitting here watching a lot of these guys. You got Blake Thronberg in second. You got Gary Ledbetter. Gary Ledbetter, somebody we really haven't talked about. He's kind of just riding. Preston McGee. You got Adam Morgan. Adam Morgan back there in the 9th position, kind of riding. And the man back here in the 10th, Ross Dalton. My man has, rode and been patient, working his way through the field, just cruising. I mean, you almost got a sense to say of one hand on the steering wheel type stuff. And, to me, that's a big deal, But I do want to point out a lot of these guys, are just single file. It looks like Ross kind of pushed it a little bit. Maybe saved his tires up. Not sure what he done there under caution. Like I said, not sure if he took tires. Not sure if he, took, what he took. So we'll just kind of wait and see, as he looks like he's trying to make the pass there on Adam Morgan for the 9th position down the backstretch. Christian in the 3.
I think right now, I mean, I would assume that he does have a little bit fresher tire, just how more he's able to get the car rotated. Maybe Adam's trying to save him stuff, but Adam's just let him go. I would make a safe assumption that Ross maybe took some tires under that caution that he was a part of, got some damage. I don't really see any damage on that car, so I presume, he did take that fast repair. So, right now, trying to methodically work his way through the field without turning up his stuff, I think.
Oh, yeah, as we've seen him get looser up off the corner, you got to wonder, too, as we go back up front here, Blake Thronberg hasn't really, let James Curl get too far ahead of him. It's almost like they're running at an even pace as Blake's on that Cadillac machine. And then you got Daniel Folds, Daniel Folds back there in the 3rd position. He's just riding. A lot of these guys, not really like trying to ride, not enough to the point where they, lose their stuff, but they're trying to keep a pace, keep a competitive pace to where, they don't let each other get too far from each other. And it looks like Blake might be pushing his car just a little bit to try to catch James Curl. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Blake has definitely picked up the pace a little bit right here. Last lap, about a little under half of a minute faster that lap. So I think Blake's trying to get up there. But I agree, everybody's trying to ride right now. It's like everybody's around, give or take a half a second-ish apart, just trying to, save these tires and, not overdo it. Obviously, still over 100 laps to go. I mean, a lot of time, a lot of patience it's going to take for these drivers to not want to try to push these cars.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and I just want to point something out. James Curl, the guy leading the race right now, is 10,000 over 10,000, almost 11,000 iRating. You know, that's double almost anybody in the lobby. You know, Blake Thornburg is probably the next one in line with a 77.82 iRating. I don't think I've ever seen somebody with over 10,000 iRating. Would you say, Christian?
Yeah, there's only a select few that I can even think of off the top of my head, like the Casey Kerwins, the Ty Majeski's of the world. But obviously, I'm I've never been in a race with them. I've never obviously broadcasted for with that high amount of iRating. So, but James is showing right now how he got this 10K right here by leading these races, being under control, saving this stuff, being in control of all these races.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, if you're just tuning in, I hope everybody's having a fantastic Sunday afternoon. We're tuning in here to the Daniel Williamson 150 here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. I'm your host, Cody Demers, alongside Christian Delgado. We're bringing you all the action here on Elevated TV. Hope everybody is having an amazing afternoon. So far, one caution, one lead change. James Curl and Blake Thornburg pretty much just swapped the position. And the first caution was Ross Dalton and Michael Foles getting into it there early on at lap 140 with 141 laps to go. Other than that, not too much going on. Everybody kind of just riding right now. Everybody kind of just holding their pants, holding their steering wheels, and riding it out. As looks like Blake starting to catch James a little bit, but you got to begin to wonder: did James burn his stuff up, or did Blake intimidate him enough to where he makes mistakes? Christian, with 100 laps to go.
Hey, you see Blake starting to light him up a little bit. I'm definitely getting to the point to where Blake is like, hey, I'm here, man. It's time to go. So, I don't think with James, obviously 10K iRating very, very high. I don't think he would burn his stuff up. I think he knows what he needs to do. He knows where to put his car to where even if Blake wants to push, to where it's going to be hard for him to pass for this lead. I think Blake is really trying to push to get around him or stay up here. We have a caution.
We have a caution. Looks like we have a caution. Not sure what it was for. See if we can't go back and find out what it was for. Looks like the number 16 of Seth Demmer and Ross Dalton. Ross Dalton once again involved in a caution here. Looks like Seth Demmer just come down and Ross had nowhere to go. As we take a look here, we're going to go on board with the number 16 of Seth Demmer. Go in the cockpit view and kind of see from his perspective what happened there.
Yeah, you can just see right there Seth running down the track, trying to make the corner on the outside. The outside's really hard to do. The number 50 sliding up the track. Finally hooked into the outside wall right there. Just, in my opinion, just hard racing, trying to battle for the same. Got together.
Oh yeah, definitely hard racing. As we go back up here to the front, 96 laps to go, 55 laps complete. Still not under halfway caution. These guys will still have a halfway caution here at lap 75. Lap 75. You do the math. I'm not sure how many it'll be to go at lap 75, but you do the math. Looks like we're gonna stay under caution here once again. Yes, caution lights still out on that iRacing pace car. Like I said earlier, not too much going on. Everybody kind of just riding, waiting, being patient. Like I said, only two cautions. This being the second one involving Ross Dalton and Seth Demmer. So definitely a very interesting race, to say the least, Christian.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, everybody's gonna mind their piece, but and now this allows these drivers to pull off their tires a little bit. You might see a little bit of aggression. I mean, we're a lot closer to that halfway caution, or you might see drivers trying to be a little bit more aggressive, trying spots for that halfway caution. So.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Also, I want to give you all the fans and out there watching here on Elevated TV. Stick around. Don't go nowhere. Right after this race is over, Elevated TV will be broadcasting the Pit Wall Podcast Stock Car Tour. Guess where we're at, Christian?
I presume it's going to be very familiar to hear. Yep.
Myrtle Beach. We'll be right back here at Myrtle Beach for the Pit Wall Podcast Stock Car Tours. It looks like they're going to get the one to go this time. One to go here at Myrtle Beach. But yeah, the Pit Wall Podcast Stock Car Tour will be in action at Myrtle Beach we went from 150 for this race, and now we're going to 125. So, not much has changed. Still late model stocks too. So, them guys put on a very interesting show over there too, guys. It's round number 4 for them. But lights are off on the pace car. James Curl, Blake Throneberg, Daniel Foles, Dylan Connor, Gary Ledbetter, Preston McGee, Michael Foles, Michael Harden, Adam Morgan, Seth Dammer, and Ross Dalton, your top 11 that started the race. As we're back underway here at Myrtle Beach.
A great jump by Jim as we have some battling and jockeying back here for 4th place.
Yeah, that's Preston McGee and Dylan Connor. Looks like Preston McGee trying to look to the inside of Dylan Connor. To the inside of turn number 4, down the front stretch. Still not there. Oh, yeah, Preston McGee's going to get it. As Ross Dalton back here in the back, working his way once again back up to the front. As we go back up here on Ledbetter. And Christian, you could throw a blanket again from about 5th to 6th, 7th, 8th. It's hard and way up high.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're jockeying for this position. I mean, they're going to be fighting hard, especially with this halfway caution going through. But doing that, they're actually allowing this front 3 of James, Blake, and Daniel get a little bit of a gap on these guys. So either they need to race and get these spots, or they need to sit in line and get front 3.
Oh yeah. You definitely don't want that top 3 to get too far out. I definitely feel like they need to work together and not get too far. So Preston's going to get really loose up off the corner, and that's going to open the door up for the 91 of Dylan Connor in the 3, Christian.
Dylan's going to try to work that inside. Not going to be there. I have his nose still there on the inside. See if that 87 can work the outside to try to make a run at this.
Dylan Connor still right there to the inside. Preston McGee on the outside, still holding strong. Preston McGee not giving up the outside. And Dalton Ledbetter's looking behind him and going, one of you guys has got to get out of the way. Like, y'all are holding me up. And, Dalton Ledbetter don't want to think. He doesn't want to push it 3 wide, but in the instincts that he has to, drastic turn of events that could add, Christian.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 3 wide. I mean, 2 wide is a bit of a stretch here, yet less 3 wide. But you're going to see that 87 going to loose off the corner. It's going to allow the 91 to clear up. And allow the 32 to get clear as well.
The 32 is going to come to the inside. Here comes the 09, Michael Foles, the guy that was involved. He's going to blink out a little bit. Wow! Almost a little incident there with the 87 car with the 09 blinking. Gets the long guy back up, and we're going to go continue staying in the green here with 84 laps to go, Christian.
Yeah, you see that 87 just falling back. Just kind of got put into a bad spot and not keep the track position right now. I think he's running on that inside now. I think he's in a good spot. As long as that 09 doesn't try to peek to the side, I think he's right now in a spot to calm down, start to run at his own pace.
Oh yeah, definitely, kind of relax right now. You know what I mean? You still don't want to push too hard. Still early. Next time by, we'll have 5 to go to the halfway caution. Remember, like I said earlier, halfway you have to take your tires. As Preston McGee's going to go way up high. I'm not sure what that was all about, but he's going to go way up high. As it looks like almost he forgot there was a corner there in the 3.
I just think that car's not driving the way he wants to. It seems like can't get in the brakes and get that car rotated on entry, and looks like that car is just snapping all over the place on exit. I just think maybe he burned his stuff up, or maybe just the car's not driving the way he wants it to. Starting to hemorrhage these spots away.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. As we look back up front here at the 51 machine of James Curl and Blake Thronberg, your top three, not much has changed other than they're pulling away from the fourth place man of Dylan Connor and Gary Ledbetter. Excuse me, Dalton Ledbetter, and that number 32. You know, as we're going to be coming to, I believe, 2 laps to go here to your halfway caution, 2 to go off of turn number 4 to your halfway caution. And Christian, before we get halfway here, what do you think as a driver these guys need to, you know, seeing the first half of the race, what do you think these guys need to do here to get prepared for the second half?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of know, been willing to make the moves to, you know, get that track position early. Who's been willing to, you know, give it away to try to save their stuff for the late run of this race. So I think people know how people are gonna want to drive the race now. So they're gonna be taking advantage of either the aggressiveness or the passiveness of the drivers. So like for instance, these top three have kind of stayed up here now, and since the back behind the top three have been fighting, it's allowed them to get out to a little bit of a lead and maybe even save a little tires as we have the halfway caution.
Yeah, we have the halfway caution, and at halfway, your field looks like James Curl out front, Blake Thronberg second, Daniel Folds third, Dylan Connor fourth, Dalton Ledbetter fifth, Michael Folds sixth, Preston McGee seventh, Michael Harden eighth, Adam Morgan ninth, Ross Dalton 10th, Seth Demmer rounds out the field in 11th, and it looks like everybody in the racetrack is coming down pit road, as it is the halfway caution. You know, with the halfway caution here, gives these guys time enough to readjust themselves, get themselves better prepared. Everybody's still in the lead lap, so you don't have to worry about that too much. You know, it just gives yourself a better chance to prepare yourself for what you're looking forward here going into the second half of the race. You know, Christian, and I hate to ask this question, but going into the second half of the race, do you think we see more cautions? Do you think we see more aggressive driving? Do you think we see, you know, the first half of the second half being, like, you know, the second half of the race, but the first, say, 50 laps being, you know, caution free, and then the second half, or the next 50 being, you know, caution filled? You know, what do you think we're going to see here in the second half of the race?
Yeah, I think depending on how this restart goes, if there's a bunch of cautions through this first, then I can imagine it's not probably going to get better. But I imagine it's going to be green, and then as the laps wind down, it's a desperate race a little bit more than what their car can handle. And we might get a couple of, you know, little racing on that, and things can start to heat up at the end of the, especially when all these drivers are money, and especially when they're racing, you know, celebrate, you know, an old friend. So I think that's what he would want, right? Is the good hard racing, and you know, if that means there's a couple of, you know, wrecks due to that hard racing, I think that's, you know, something he'd probably want.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And if you're just tuning in with us, this is the Daniel Williamson 150 here at Myrtle Beach, honoring Daniel Williamson, longtime fellow iracer. Passed away a few years ago from battle with COVID. You know, you know, not to get off topic here of the race, but COVID, man, you know, COVID's tough. You know, I had COVID, you know, and I hated it. I hated life, rough. Christian, I don't know if you had COVID, but, you know, COVID to me was probably one of the toughest things I fought. I mean, I'd rather have the flu and have the body aches than have COVID.
No, I had COVID as well, and it's, I'm a youngin, so I mean, it's probably one of the, you know, worst illnesses I've gone through that of memory, of course. So I mean, I hated it. I had the body aches. You're helpless, but you know.
Oh yeah, now I want to get, before we go back green here, I want to give a big shout out again to Daniel's wife and Daniel's kids that are watching at home. Appreciate each and everybody, all their fans that are watching as well. Here is we're back green underway with Ross Dalton and Blake Thornburg getting to the bottom real fast here in 1 and 2.
And look who's leading this race. Ross Dalton, who's been caught up in all these wrecks. Maybe taking a little bit of a tire strategy, I don't know. But out here leading this race. He was back there in 10th, 9th place. He did all these wrecks, and now he's out here taking control of this race.
Yeah, I mean, man went from the front to the back, back to the back to the front, back to the back, and now he's out front leading the train behind. Him being the train, Adam Morgan being the caboose. 68 laps to go, 83 laps down. Still anybody's race, still a long ways to go, Christian.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what happened to James Curl. I don't know if it was a speeding, but he's all the way back in 7th from the lead. I don't know if he sped on pits. I don't know if he just had a bad stop, but definitely a tough break for him. I mean, we know he's a fast driver, and we know he has the pace to be up there contend for the win, but now he's got to get through all this traffic back up to the lead again.
And for y'all just tuning in here, we're going to go on board here with James Crow. And when we go on board here, I want to give y'all a cockpit view of his car. I want to go inside the car and show y'all just what James sees when he's driving. Here you go. Off the corner, real tough. And, whoa, there we go. As we're back on board here with James Crow, nice, smooth, trying to stay off the turtles, nice section off the 2, little free. Like you would want to be, hugging the inside wall, off of turn number 4, coming back into the restart zone, down the front stretch at Flaxton, and that's a lap around Myrtle Beach. James looks so smooth on the wheel. Doesn't look like he's even putting much wheel into the car. Doesn't look like he's doing too much. I mean, he's just driving, just right there. I mean, you can't ask for no better. I mean, even like his light. Look at his light on his wheel. I'm not sure if that tells him when he's getting too revved and too high or what, but I mean, looks like he's out for a Sunday drive. Wouldn't you say, Christian?
Yeah, and smoothness is the key to being fast in a 8-mile stock. If you're really sawing on the wheels, he's sawing, and it just clears off the fronts of the tires, and see how smooth James is. That really helps with the tire wear. I have a little blink out by him, but yeah, what James is doing right now is exactly what needs to be done. Obviously, 62 laps, as he's going underneath the 91 right here, I think he knows what he needs to do to get back up to the front without carrying this stuff up. So.
Oh yeah. As we go back up here to Ross Dalton, Ross Dalton just riding, leading the pace, setting the pace for the guys out behind him. Not too much going on right now. Not too much happening. Everybody kind of single file once again. This plays into what me and Christian were talking about with, what do we think was going to see the second half of the race? We're going to see people get slicey and dicey throughout the whole second half, or we're going to see start of it be what we're seeing now, and then the second half of it be a caution field. So, it's still anybody's race. Ledbetter's all over the back bumper of that number 09 of Michael Folds. You are seeing doubles. You are seeing double 09s. Though they are not the same driver. Michael Folds and Daniel Folds are brothers, I believe, or cousins, or I'm not sure, but I know they are kin somehow. I would assume. But no, they are not driving the same car.
It's always nice to have family members racing with you on the sim, or even in real life. It brings that competitiveness even higher, because you grow up with. I know, for instance, Garrett Maines does a lot of his racing with his dad. It brings up that competitiveness of racing with your dad, racing with your brothers. Just makes it so much more fun to be able to enjoy a hobby with a family member. So.
Oh yeah. Christian, I know you broadcast a lot of, and announce a lot of NASCAR stuff on the virtual sim here on iRacing. and I'm sure you don't do too much short track stuff, but what plays a difference? Obviously, track size, obviously is different, but as we see a caution here, not sure what happened there. Looks like maybe Adam Morgan and Seth Dammer might have got into it. It looks like the 76. No, the 16. Yes, the 76 is the 16. Off into one. Looks like the 76 got into the back bumper of the 16 of Seth Dammer.
I just kind of overcooked the corner. You saw the 76 not really an optimal place to even make the corner. 16 was just there, unfortunately. Tagged in around right there. So, like, no, kept it off the outside wall, which is what you need to do. So, job by Seth right there to, keep the car as clean as you can. Definitely the tires, not going to be happy with that, but no damage to that car, which is, I guess, the best you can ask for.
Oh yeah. Definitely the best thing you could ask for is not take any damages. Remember, caution laps do count. 52 laps to go. 99 laps complete. Next time by, I'll be lap 100. Not much has happened, Christian. And I say that over and over and over. I feel, but I mean, it's the truth. I mean, nothing's really changed. Other than the lead change. Had a couple cautions. Had a couple, incidents. But other than that, I mean, nothing's really changed. Everybody kind of still riding at their own pace. Everybody kind of still, being patient. When we come back to the green, we're going to have, I believe, 50 or under 50 to go. What are you expecting here, Christian?
Yeah, I honestly expected the aggressiveness to be a little bit more intense now, but short track racing usually a little bit more hourly and elbows up, but drivers have been able to keep it clean. So I can't imagine they're gonna want to wait a lot longer of just riding around. 50 to go at a short track like this, that's not a whole lot of time. Start making up spots to put yourself in the spot to race for a win here. So I can imagine that in a short amount of time, these drivers will start to pick up aggressiveness and trying to put themselves in the spot to get a good finish or win.
Oh yeah, definitely. As we see the pace car lights out on the pace car here once again. Coming up 49 laps to go. 49 laps sounds like a lot of laps. No, here at Myrtle Beach it's not, as we are back underway for the Daniel Williamson 150 here at Myrtle Beach. As the field's Russell's going to take the field off in the turn number 1 and 2. We don't have an overlay, but Christian, let's crank it up here in the Daniel Williamson 150 here. Let's give the fans all the sights, sounds, ears, and listens here at Myrtle Beach. There's a short-lived caution there, Christian. Well, Christian, what do you think? Caution, 3 cautions?
I think it's into that time now, and I think that's what that caution was for. Is you see the number 32 with a lot of damage. My pick to potentially win this thing of Gary with a lot of damage. I think that's what that caution was caused by. Is just it's getting that time.
Yeah, I'm looking. It looks like the 32 just got into the back of the 87 in turn number 1. Looks like the 32 just had no room to get under the number 77, and he thought he was clear, and then Seth Dammer just come in there and cleaned them out.
Yeah, so, I think that 32 thought he would have been clear. That 77 looks like he was getting underneath. and just 77 was there, and he already kind of sent into the corner and nowhere for him to go. And you see that 87 not happy with driving him into that inside wall and not right there. I mean, that shows right there that, 45 go. It's time to start making moves. Time to start, you know, putting yourself in spots to start making passes. We'll see right here who saved their stuff, who used their stuff up early, and who's able to, put their cars in spots to grab to the front. As we
Funny, I gave you plenty of room when you wanted to pass me again. I gave you plenty of room, and then you run right.
We're gonna move him up out of here. Sorry about that. He was talking to end race to one of the drivers about what happened.
Right there, how tempers flare easily at these short tracks. It's
right.
Part of the game, right? Not a lot of space to be given, and sometimes that's just how it is. Get put in a bad spot, and I get involved in a wreck. That's your opinion, not your fault. That's just part of short track racing, especially in these late model stocks. Weapons racing, and that's the name of the game, especially at these short tracks like Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah. So lights are off on the pace car right now. Coming down the backstretch. And like I said, and that's how easy tempers flare right there. You seen it. You heard it firsthand. Ross Dalton, Blake Thronberg, the Team Zeems, DTL Racing. If you don't know what DTL Racing stands for, I believe it stands for Dalton, Thronberg, Ledbetter Racing. I think I found that out the other day, Christian, but I'm not 100% sure as we come off and back into turn number 1 under green.
The 51 of Earl underneath that 09, trying to race for that P4 spot. I'm on a recovery drive after having some steps in the pits on that halfway caution, trying to put himself in a spot to back and race. For now, this is going to be a perfect opportunity for him to come and race up to these top 3, right? Got the clean air, he doesn't have to worry about racing other drivers. So, up there trying to try to get around and up for maybe the podium spot. So that was quick. Had almost literally the whole first half of this race. So, we know he can come up here. It's hard. That's bad.
Oh yeah. As we see Thronberg, and Ross. If you don't know nothing about Ross Dalton and Blake Thronberg, they are teammates. So Christian, they're not going to race each other as hard as Blake would race James, or James would race Blake, or Blake would race James, or Ross would race James. They're not going to race as hard as what you would think they would. Now, come down to 5 laps ago, anybody's game. That's when the gloves come off, the teammates go out the door. But right now, still too early. 36 laps ago, still too early to race each other. And as teammates, that's something you got to keep in the back of your mind. There's Blake trying to help his teammate out, and the 09 Daniel Foltz, he's also a Team Zeem driver. I'm not sure if they're teammates. Team Zeems, yes, they are teammates, but in the race, I'm not sure. But I know Blake and Ross are teammates. So, that's something you got to, keep in consideration with these guys. There's a lot of teammates in here. A lot of these guys are not going to race hard until the last 5 or 10 laps.
The teammate situation is always really interesting. Like, obviously, we know Thronberg and Dalton, they're not going to race each other hard, but obviously Blake wants this one just as much as Ross does. And how hard does Ross race? Like, does he put him in a bad spot to maybe, put himself in a situation to wreck them both out, or do you give him a little bit more respect and a little more room as a teammate? Or do you even race him harder as a teammate because you know that you can trust them to not, put you in a bad spot? So it's gonna be interesting to see how these guys are gonna race each other for this win.
And I talked to Ross, and I've known Ross a little while. I haven't known Ross long, and Ross. This is probably one of Ross's favorite racetracks. Ross loves Myrtle Beach. He always says, "I wish I'd have never tore this racetrack down." It was supposed to actually become a housing development, is what I believe it was supposed to be, and it still sits to this day with nothing on it. Just tore it down I feel like for no reason. But it's great that these guys can still come here virtually on the sim, still race it, still have fun, still enjoy it, and still have a blast and put on some good shows for you guys at home here on Elevated TV.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing that you go on this iRacing platform. So many tracks, especially these short tracks, like for instance, Auto Club or California, whatever you want to call it, are getting tore down. Irwindale, California is also going to. Myrtle Beach. So many tracks you're not here with us anymore. So cool that you can come. It's hard, I think. No one will ever get to race at our own anymore.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to look at USA. USA is another one that's a shopping mall. And it gets to me because people wonder why there's nobody races anymore. All the good racetracks are tore down. I mean, look at Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is tore down. I mean, there's so many good racetracks that are no longer here because of shopping malls or because of housing developments, because of certain situations, and Myrtle Beach was one of the victims that fell victim to it, and to me was where Dale Earnhardt Jr. was started racing at, where a lot of these guys started racing at. I never personally been to Myrtle Beach but one time, and I enjoyed it. But most raciest racetrack I've ever been to. It's tough to sit here and watch all these tracks get tore down. But in the end, at least we can still come here virtually on the sim, watch races, race, have blast, and act like we're still at the real racetrack. Because we got 24 laps to go here.
To go, and you see South Korea kind of once again separated themselves in the front pack. You see fourth place right here, James Curl, with 9/10 of a second gap to leaders here. You gotta think that he separated himself from 5th and 6th. He hasn't really wanted to catch these guys. Might be saving tires, make a run maybe with 10, 15 to go. I mean, it's gonna be hard to get around 3 guys for this win, but with the teammate situation there, that's gonna be hard to get around both of them. But be interested to see when people are gonna start making moves, especially I think this the third car of Daniel right here, in the perfect spot to maybe put these two teammates in the compromise spot. See, the 22 is gonna look underneath the 50.
Yeah, now it's like I said earlier, get down to 20 to go. Now's when you're going to see the aggression come out. Now's when you're going to see people fighting, trying to get to the front. As we see Blake Thronberg to the inside of the 50 down the backstretch. Door handle, down into 3 they go. The 22 on the inside, the 50 on the outside. Here comes Foles. Foles right there behind the 22 machine down the front stretch. Thronberg's still not going to be able to clear him off in 1. Thronberg still right there with him. Right there with him, still side by side through 3 and 4. Thronberg still, but here comes Foles. Has Ross Dalton figured something out on that outside, Christian?
I was about to bring that up. Throughout the whole race, that inside was kind of the way to go, but see Ross fighting on the outside, and you see that 09 kind of shadow that 50 car for those laps. I just feel like with how the tires are worn out, you're gonna have to find somewhere else to pass that's not the bottom.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Ross is not going to give it up easy. I mean, there's, I say this, excuse me, I say this a lot. Usually there's nothing on the line, but there's $200 on the line. I mean, heck, there's $125 for second place. So I mean, there's a lot of money on the line to win this race. So I mean, these guys are not going to give it up easy for at least the top 5.
Definitely. Still looking on the inside. I don't know if he's gonna be in there enough to out of it. But he's not gonna give up that fight trying to pass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Blake's just trying to get something, trying to find some grip on the bottom of there, trying to find some kind of momentum to get around the number 50 of Ross Dalton. We're coming to 14 laps to go with 136 laps complete of 150 here for the Daniel Williamson 150. And what a race it has been so far. Coming to 13 to go. Not, it really, Christian, has been strategy, man. As we look back here at James Curl, the guy that led most of the first half of the race, and he's falling backwards, Christian.
Now you see that. I mean, getting passed by 2 cars. He is on the bottom here. He's actually going to take that car down to the pit. Oh, there. They have a caution. Like
yes, Dammer, the 16. Yep, the 16 is Seth Dammer. Let's go back and look and see what happened there. As it looks like James Curl is done for the day. James Curl is out for the day. Looks like the 16 and the 32 and Ledbetter, they were just side by side. Ledbetter thought he was clear, or no. Dammer shifted up into the 32 of Ledbetter. Wow. Looks like Seth Dammer is going to get a EOL penalty.
If this had kind of bad race, if this whole race can caught up and stuff out of his own swing right there. I mean, I would say, that's been kind of hard racing. It up and the car just kind of out and gone. Like I said, caught up in that clear in this race. Just not the race that he probably wants. But as you said, as you were trying to say earlier, this race has just been a race of strategy, right? James Curl was, I think, it is the fastest driver here. Him now, not even in this race, just knew he had power to do it anymore. Saw Ross Dalton back there in P10, caught up in Rex, and now he's up here fighting with his team the race for $200 here.
Oh yeah. It looks like James Curl is done for the day. He's 3 laps down. Michael Folds, looks like he was a 1 lap down, but time in the scoring was correcting itself. And Gary Ledbetter being the only other person 5 laps down. So tough break for them guys. And yeah, man, you gotta wonder, Ross Dalton involved in the first 2 cautions of the race. And went to the back, fought his way back to the front, got in the caution. Went back to the back, fought his way back to the front, and then kind of just rode, man. Saved his equipment, used his car wisely, and come out of pits, somehow managed to get first, and looks like he's going to take he's got the lead here, and teammates out front 1-2, and it's a team top 3.
It's leading the deal. Coming to 7 to go. I mean, if there's any time to go, it's now. You have no time to try to make up spots. You also have to think about, caution laps counting. You cannot wreck or within probably 4 to go, or this is probably going to be over. So you gotta keep it clean. But you also have to be ready to try to get spots. We're green.
Yeah, and with 5 to go, man, it's going to come down to who saved the most, who's the most patient, who's been the most patient, and who's got enough to get around Ross Dalton and Blake Thornberger in the end. As it looks like Blake Thornberger's going to trying to go to the outside. No, Ross Dalton's going to throw a block. Coming to 6 to go. It's about to get slicey and dicey. You better get your Coca-Cola and your popcorn ready because it's about to put on a show for you here. At Myrtle Beach Speedway for the Daniel Williamson 150. Down the back straightaway. Ross Dalton. 5 more circuits around this racetrack. But he's got Blake Thornburg. Daniel Folds. Right there on his back bumper. Inching closer and closer and closer here as we got 5 to go here, Christian.
5 to go here. You gotta wonder if and when Blake is gonna have to put the bumper to him, try to do anything. It looks like he cannot get around them the clean way. I mean, $200, $200. I mean, you have to imagine there's gonna be bumper lane down sometime.
You know, and you think, oh, $200 is a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. On this virtual sim, $200 is a lot of money. I mean, these guys, they race here for $200. If they win, they ain't got to work tomorrow because they make what they made tonight in a day's time. So, I mean, to me, and they do it on a virtual sim racing for $200. I mean, so to them, that's a lot of money to get out here on a video game and try to win that amount of money. As we're coming to 2 to go down the front stretch, Blake Thornburg right there on the back bumper of that number 50 machine. Down in a 1 and 2. Off a 2. Down the back straightaway. Blake Thornburg still right there with the number 50. Off into 3. Here they go. Coming out of 3 and 4, they're going to be Barney, the iRacing flag man's going to see them. A little white flag. White flag in the air. Down back into 1. Here we go. Will we see Blake Thornburg put the bumper to the 50 machine? On the back straightaway. Blake Thornburg's going to go to the inside. Here comes Thornburg. Thornburg to the inside. Off of turn number 4. He's not going to get it done. Your Daniel Williamson 150 winner will be Ross Boo Boo Dalton out of Liberty, North Carolina. Thornburg comes home second. And Daniel Folds, your top 3 here at Myrtle Beach. Wow, Christian. What an exciting race here for Daniel Williamson.
What a race! What a finish, right? That's a lot of professionalism by that 22 car to not put the obviously teammate, probably really close friends and stuff. Really cool to see that not happen at the style of racing, right? You know, when you come to these short tracks like Myrtle Beach, you expect that to happen, and almost like a rare case for that not happen. So love to see the clean full racing. Yeah, Ross got it done here, up in the spot, and he got that lead, never gave it up. So Ross, $100 richer. So what a race by him. Back to the front.
And Ross Dalton, as you see him on your screen there, doing his Polish victory lap by the infamous Alan Quickie. Ross Dalton wins $200. Blake Thornburg gets $125. Let's see. Ross Dalton gets $200. Blake Thornburg $125. Daniel Folds gets home with $75. Michael Folds comes home with $50. And your pole sitter from our pole award winner gets the 5th place, gets Dylan Connor 25th. Go ahead and say it live on the air, Christian. I think Gary Ledbetter, the man that started up front, deserves the $25 Tough Break Award. Started 4th or 5th, finishes 11th, 13 laps down. I give him the Tough Break Award. Would you not say?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason he was back there wasn't a part of, right? Caution's not. I think a Tough Break Award. We know he had a fast car. Just catch a break this year.
Alrighty, well, we're going to get our top 3 in here. We're going to go 3, 2, 1. We'll let Christian start us off, and then I'll get the last 2. Looks like we got Daniel Folds in here with us.
Hey, Daniel. Christian Booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, a P3 for you. Really hard, really aggressive racing. Walk me through.
Yeah, we joined in late, had just a few laps of practice and managed to qualify P6. And just kind of rode that first stint. Got to third and was waiting until that halfway break. We got that, and then came back out fourth, I believe, but there was a pit penalty by somebody in front of me. So restarted third, and I mean, I was trying to get Ross and Blake, but man, as Fix said, everybody's so equal. But it definitely put on a good show.
Yeah, you guys definitely put on a good show. Like I said, $300. Racing for a good cause is always. But yeah, anybody you'd like to shout out for this third place?
I just want to thank the guys that pay to win. I got a ton of respect for them. I appreciate them putting this race on for Williamson. I didn't know him personally, but I know he had a lot of people that respected him, and it was a great race for him tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was. You guys put on a great show. Always. But we will back down to celebrate this podium finish. We'll hope this time.
Appreciate it, guys.
Alrighty, we're gonna get Blake Thronberg in here. Blake, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. I'm in here, bub.
Started second, or actually qualified second. Got the inverted two, had to switch spots with Dylan Connor there. James Curl got you on the start there. It looked like you were kind of just saving from the start of the race. Didn't look like you were pushing too hard. There towards the end of the race, you got hooked up with your teammate. We were talking about the broadcast booth, but you give me your perspective. 5 to go. Would you wreck your teammate for $200?
No, man. If I was gonna wreck him, I'd have wrecked him before we got that last caution. No, man. Friendship was more than money. I just had my hair on my arms is still standing up, man. That was exciting. I believe that I probably had the faster car there just because he took 2 tires on the halfway break and I had 4. But man, no, I wouldn't have wrecked any of the Zeebs guys in here for an extra $75. But man, that was a blast.
Well, it was a very interesting race. Kind of walk me through your strategy for the race.
Basically, the first I know 75 laps. When I got in there, I ran 50 hard laps, and when the practice session opened, and I knew where my tires would be if I ran as fast as I could. So, basically, I was just riding for to about 40 to go in the first stage, and then I pushed it a little bit, and then we had a caution, so that was unlucky because I felt like I was a little faster than James right there, but. It's pretty hard to pass here when you're on a fixed setup, and we all have the same top end speed. It's just basically how you get off the corner and how much you either saving your right front or your right rear. Here in this case, I think it was your right rear. If you could save that to where you could get a little bit more drive than the other guy did, and kind of cut the corner off coming off exit, I think you could pull on them. But no, I kind of saved second half. I was just gonna ride. I knew, like you said, man, I knew you had Daniel behind me and Michael, and I knew that they were only going to pass me if they knew they could pass me clean. And same with Ross. I knew he was on 2 tires, so I figured if I'd catch him eventually. But man, he's a heck of a driver, and I'm happy for him that he won and Zane's finished 1 through 4. That was pretty big.
Anybody want to thank sponsor, friends, family wise?
Yes, first and foremost, Pay to Win for putting this on. You don't normally see a big money race like this, just somebody, most of the time they had a bunch of sponsors, but all you guys for broadcasting it, everybody in here that raced clean. Zine set up shop, man, they're the bomb. If you're looking for a setup shop, go there and they'll help you out, man. All the guys are great. DTL Racing, like you said, Ross for racing me clean on the outside, and Daniel, and like I said, you guys for broadcasting elevated television. And everything like that.
Alrighty, and that is a word with your second place finisher coming home second here tonight. $175 richer in the number 22 team Zeems. Blake, I hate to ask this, but I had a couple of people ask me what DTL Racing on the side of yours and Ross's and Ledbetter's car stands for.
I don't know. I'll let if Ross wants to tell it, he can tell it. But it's just kind of three of us that race together all the time, and we just put a little thing together for this race. I'll let you ask Ross that and see if he tells you. If he tells you, then you know the cat will be out of the bag. But it's kind of a secret right now. I know it's kind of corny, but it's just a little secret right now. We'll see how it goes.
I got you. I got you.
Yes,
All
sir.
righty. All righty. Well, I appreciate it. Coming home with second place tonight, $175 richer, the number 22, Blake Thronberg. And we're going to get our race winner in here. The man out of Liberty, North Carolina. Boo Boo. Man, if you had bad luck the first 75 laps, I don't think you'd had any luck.
Yeah, it was. I was definitely wrong place, wrong time the whole first half of that race. But at some point in every race, your luck's got to turn around. So hopefully, or thankfully, we was able to overcome it and then put ourselves back in the position. I knew I was running 10th or 12th right there, that caution, or when I got wrecked there on the back stretch. And I knew that even with the halfway break and getting more tires, I knew that I was going to be, shaped up to be pushed out of contention. And I only had one option, and that was to go ahead, take my fast repair and my lefts and some fuel right there at the at lap 50, whatever it was, 52, I think it was, and went ahead and took them there and just used the pit strategy at the halfway break to take only my rights and get the track position versus everybody else having four tires. And man, it was if it had been another 5 or 6 laps right there, I believe I'd have got beat. But all in all, man, awesome race. I can't thank Blake and Daniel for racing me clean right there. That last half of that race, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 right there for Zeem Setup Shop, and I can't say thank you enough to them for what they do for me and allowing me to be on the team. And super grateful for all that they do for me. And got to thank all my real life sponsors: Hudson Auto Works, Copeman Farms, NPM Marketing, Tommy Watson Construction, J. Dalton Auto Tech, Rooster with Elevated TV, putting on this thing. Man, Daniel Williamson was a special person in this short track scene that we're in. He was a spotter for many people, and he lived too short of a life, man. He was a good guy. He busted his butt for many people, and he was always somebody that was smiling at the racetrack. Whenever he was down, if you seen Daniel, man, he was always smiling. So, buddy, we miss you, and I know it's just a virtual race, but I dedicate this one to you.
And that's why we like Ross, interviewing Ross, because Ross is short, sweet, and to the point. Ross, I got one final question, and I asked Blake, and he told me to ask you. I had a couple people ask me what DTL stands for on the side of y'all's cars. Yours, Ledbetter's, and Blake's.
Dalton Thornburg, Ledbetter Racing. We just kind of teamed up here in the last month or so, and we kind of went forward to. We try to race a lot against each other and with each other and have good runs. And Ledbetter's young to the scene. He ain't had it but about 2 months. He's still learning. He's hot-headed and he gets aggravated way too quick. But we'll get him simmered down hopefully soon. And me and Blake, man, I think that me and him so even when it comes to racing. I think still he's got a little edge on me. But with time will tell, and we'll go forward from here, man. We'll continue on with the DTL team, and we'll try to shape Ledbetter up into a good little iRacer here.
Alrighty, and that's a word with your $200 richer man out of Liberty, North Carolina, Ross Boo Boo Dalton.
Thank you, buddy.
Alrighty, we're going to move him up there. We're going to drag Kyle down here, your race promoter. Kyle Klingenpill, y'all seen him on the leaderboard earlier. Before we end the broadcast here and head over to pit wall for some other stuff. Kyle, we ain't got you. We got us on the screen, but we don't have you on the screen. I know you wanted to come in here and talk to the fans a little bit.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I thought that was a really good race on 150 laps. I mean, when we set out to do this, Daniel used to love doing these big races, and this was something he always did 2 or 3 times a year, putting up a lot of money and giving back to a lot of the iRacers out there. So I just wanted to come on and thank everybody. We pretty much handpicked these guys because we picked the ones that we thought was going to put on the best race. And from my seat, it looked like it was a great race there. I don't think you can really ask for a whole lot better there. And congratulations to Boo Boo on that one. That was awesome to see that pit strategy play out and how it all unfolded there at the end. But thank you guys. You guys do a wonderful job with the stream. Thank all the racers for showing up. Everybody that watched this stream, I can't thank you guys enough. It's just something we do every year, and I want to say thank you to Pay to Win. They put up all this money for these guys to come race this race with no entry fee. So all the money that was handed out tonight was or just off a donation from Pay to Win. So these guys don't have to pay any kind of entry fee or anything like that. So really awesome of them to come on board. Thank you guys. Thank everybody for making this race what it is. And make sure you follow our Facebook page, DW26 Racing Events. We're a couple races into it. Well, we got a couple races left of our point season there, and then we'll be throwing up, keep an eye out. We'll be throwing up a couple big races throughout the winter months. Once racing in real life dies down, we'll be hosting a variety of a couple of different things, and hopefully get you guys to come on and broadcast it. Y'all do a bang up job on that. It's really awesome.
Well, I appreciate it. And we try to give, the viewers the best entertainment, best view possible of the races. And, Christian Delgado is our producer tonight and co-announcer. He was, pushing the buttons and all that behind the scenes. And, Kyle, we want to thank you here, everybody from Elevated TV, for letting us come on and do this special race for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
All righty, and that's a word with your promoter, Kyle Klingenpeel. Christian, final thoughts here tonight. Exciting race. Pit strategy. Crazy to even think Ross took 2 tires there and won it on 2 tires. A lot of these guys were on 4 tires, and it just shows, Christian, that you don't need 4 tires to win the race.
Exactly. I'll kind of put it right to a T. I don't think I could give a better race I was going to put on for the Memorial race. I agree, like that 2-tire strategy is really what got Ross race for this. Obviously, race, right? I think only person that whole field to go out and take 2. Else tried to play it safe and take. How hard it is to pass at Myrtle Beach. Us to kind of put his car in a spot to where hard to pass, and you heard Blake tell us in his reckon for races probably best that so what a race by these drivers, keeping it mostly green for the rest of the time, and tracks that did happen were hard race as much as they could get. What a race by these drivers. I had a time on this race.
And the question is, are you ready to do it again for another 125 laps?
Yeah, I'm locked and loaded and ready to do it again. Myrtle Beach, such a great track, especially in these late model stocks. I mean, it's a blast. So.
All righty. Well, from everybody here at Elevated TV, from myself, Cody Demers, your announcer, your lead announcer, from your producer / color announcer, Christian Delgado. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back here in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes for race number 2 on the night. Here at Myrtle Beach for the Pit Wall Podcast Stock Car Tour for 125 laps of late model stock action around Myrtle Beach. So don't go anywhere, and we will see y'all in a few.